Hello everyone, I am Brianna and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a homeschool related video. I want to talk about the My Father's World kindergarten curriculum, God's creation from A to Z. This is the second time I have been through this curriculum. My oldest son, when he was in kindergarten, used this curriculum, and I am using it again with my 6-year-old. I want to show you inside of the teacher's manual, as well as how I organize the student pages, what we're using, and if we added anything to it. I know that is always a question. Do I need to add anything extra to the kindergarten curriculum, or are the student pages enough? Does it stand alone? Is it okay? Is it enough? So I kind of want to go over all of that with you today. Now I want to show you what I have in front of me first before I flip you around. I, of course, have the teacher's manual. I have our menu, and I'll show you what's inside in a minute. I have the student binder. And then I have the flashcards. My Father's World gives these to us. They're included in the package. I went ahead and laminated each one so that they were a little bit more sturdy and could last longer. I also printed out these cards from someone on a Facebook group. They match the animal that we're learning each week. And what I do with these, I guess I can just tell you this real quick, is when we start off the morning, I will have him do his calendar and then match the cards. So I'll put these in front of him and he'll lay them out and he will match them. And as he's matching them, he will say the letter and then the sound that it makes. About once a week, we will play bingo, and they start off small. So these are the letters that we have gone over. He knows them, he knows the sound. So I will say the letter, he will say the sound, and then he will put a little M&M on the letter that I asked him to find. Okay, and then the last thing, we have these Cuisenaire rods in the book for the alphabet. And they do this the first day that you introduce a new letter. So I'm going to go ahead and flip you around, and then I will show you inside of all of these things. Okay, the first thing I want to flip through is the teacher manual. So let me get to this first page. It has a breakdown of each week and how many weeks you have. So you're going to be doing this for 32 weeks. Now, the first 2 weeks, you're focusing strictly on creation. You are making each day of creation, you are doing an activity that has to do with that. So you are reading the passage in the Bible. You are coloring and cutting out the number 1 on the first day, 2 on the second day, 3 on the third, 4 on the fourth, and so on. And you will be making a creation book. Now, what I love about My Father's World is that it has a Bible lesson built in, and they will tell you what to say. You can add to it, you can take away from it. I have found that it is just the perfect amount of information for my children. So an example of the book that they're going to make, day 1, they're going to use white paper and black paper, and you're going to glue them together. And then the second day, you're going to have like puffy clouds. You can use cotton balls, and then you just kind of, you can punch holes and thread together with ribbon, or however you want to put that book together. And then on week 3, we move along to learning the first letter, and it is S. And then we have the biblical concept, Jesus is the light of the world. Now, it's really cute because when you get to the concept, you have, so say for the first week, S, sun, you are going to be cutting out a sun on construction paper and writing that concept on there. Now, I have been displaying them on my wall, and it's really, really fun because my son now, he goes, oh, okay, we're adding another one. Let's review them all. And he will go and he will point to each one and he'll say what the biblical concept is. And these are all of the concepts right here. The last 2 weeks, you are learning about the fruit of the Spirit. There are 2 weeks here for Christmas, and there are Christmas pages. I don't think I have those in the binder. I do have the fruit of the Spirit, but I'm not sure if I have Christmas to show you. Okay, and then it has just information that you can read through, and I definitely would recommend reading through all of this. Gives you all the materials that you will need, and then how to teach each section. So let me get to lesson 1 so that I can show you. Oh, actually, you know what? So the first 2 weeks you're singing songs, the BIBLE, bingo, and then Old MacDonald Had a Farm. So here are some more ideas. So they're giving you hints and ideas of, okay, August, you are going to focus on colors. September, focus on shapes. October, focus on patterns. November through June, focus on patterns. And they are telling you, okay, blue square, green square, red square, and then just repeat it. There is a 100 chart. I actually don't use the 100 chart. For the calendar, I bring in my own calendar. Well, it's not my own. It's actually from Treehouse Schoolhouse, and I have it inside of this menu. And what I do is I will go over the month. I will pick the day that we're on, so he'll trace our month, the date, and then 2023, the year. We will sing through the days of the week. And so after we sing through the days of the week, I will then ask him, okay, what was the date yesterday? And at first he was like, is yesterday behind us or in front of us? Or what does that mean? So it takes a little while for them to catch on. But then eventually, like say if today was the 23rd, he will say, yesterday was the 22nd. Or if I say, if today is Thursday, what is tomorrow? And he'll say Friday. So that is just how we practice the calendar. And then we keep going. So each week there's thoughts from Marie. And then here is the first lesson. Now the first few lessons are really broken down to what exactly you need to do. This guide looks the same. I mean, I guess it gets a little bit more as you progress, but not a lot. It is very consistent and the kids know what to expect each day. So on day 1, so the first thing that they have is the reading and language arts and math. So you have your calendar, your poem, and the poem is always going to be in the notes. So for this one, it's make raisins. Okay, well, what does that mean? It says see notes. So if you flip the page to make raisins, it tells you exactly what you need to do. Now, for the information on letter sounds and picture cards and all of that, when you're a few weeks into it, that goes away and it eventually looks like this, where it's just day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and it will either tell you the biblical message, it will tell you what book to read, maybe some activities to do, and then there's additional activities in the back. So let me get back to the first week here. You are listening to classical music every Friday. I love that aspect of it, and my kids will get up and dance and just have fun. Sometimes they will just sit and listen and color. I also noticed that, I didn't do this time around because I have already read this book, but they tell you as moms to read the chapter 2. So like it'll say, okay, read chapter 3, read chapter 4 for the children's sake. I am not doing that because I've already read this book, but it is a really good book, and I recommend that you guys read that if you have the time. All right, so this is the current week that we are on, week 13, insects. Now, I want to show you how I prep to get ready for teaching my child. Now, this is the student binder that I have. And I will just grab the pages that I need out of it. So on Friday, when we're done with the previous week, I will go ahead and pull the flashcards, the concept card, as well as the animal that they have. So this is what they give you to trace on paper. So on here, this is the badge. It will tell you to get brown paper and like trace it, cut it out, and write, I am a wise child, so I work hard. And then this is not what I put on the wall. I put the brown cutout on there. So then I grab the flashcard, the Bible concept, out of, see if I can grab it again, out of this front pocket here, and I will hang these 2 cards as well as this on our cork board so that it is on display. And when he walks in the room, I can be like, okay, so what is that letter? Do you remember what sound it is? And we'll go over it. Once I'm done tracing this, it goes back in a storage area in my cubbies in a drawer, and then I will store them for future use. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for next year for my daughter, but if I end up using this curriculum again, I will have everything already put together. So I keep this book in the binder. It is God's Amazing World, and the first day we will be reading the insect story. So we have to find I, and we will read all about insects. And my son likes these stories. He likes to look at the bugs. Well, I shouldn't just say bugs. We haven't done bugs yet, but he will look at, let's see what we have done. So, okay, apple. He will look at that. Actually, for this one, we went downstairs and we cut open an apple to match this so that he could have it in his hands. But there was just one. Oh, the octopus. He loved this one. So this is a fun book for the kids to have and to read. So then, like I was doing with the flashcards, the Friday before the week, once we're done, I will look to see what book we're going to be reading, and I will pull it off the shelf and just stick it in this binder so that it is easy for me to grab and have. And day 2 of the week is when we will be reading this, but I like to have it near so I don't have to go searching for it when I'm ready to use it. All right, so his student pages are kept in this binder. At the beginning of the year, I had this kind of organized differently in a file folder by week, and it was just too time consuming for me to grab that file out and sift through it, pull out what I needed, and then put the file thing away, when I was like, okay, I need a better system. So I hole punched all of the pages, put them in a binder, and then once he's done with them, I just put them back in here so that I can have the memory of what he's done. And I kept a tab on the page that we are going to be on. So I will pull out all of the pages that I need for the week. I'll put my tab on this one for next week. And then I'll move the binder to the side. And I will show you what I do with these pages. So if you've noticed on my book, I have it tabbed this week And then I have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Because like I was saying in the beginning of the video, the beginning weeks, they really, really break down exactly what you are going to say when you're teaching this lesson. And that goes away. Let's see. Okay, so this is week 5 and it went away. But all of this teaching is in the back of the guide. And so I just label them by the day that we're going to be using them. And what I'll do is I'll take these student sheets and say day 1, I will put day 1 sheet. And then we'll go to day 2 and I will put the sheet for day 2 here. And then on day 3, I will do the same thing with the day 3 sheet. And so on. So I'm just going to put those all in there right now so that it is ready for me to teach my son. This has made it so much easier for me because I am not pulling out a file, I am not pulling out a folder, I am not pulling out the binder every single day. I will have the papers right there. And when I close the book, it doesn't, you can barely tell that they're there. So that works for me. Now I want to show you the menu that I have. I already showed you the calendar on the front, but when you open up, it has more of the pages from Treehouse Schoolhouse, and we mainly focus on the weather, the season, and the temperature. Now, this page is more of like a silly, oh, ha, ha, I'm gonna wear sandals and a short sleeve shirt and it's raining, ha, 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 so this up here is, what would you like to do today? Sometimes what he wants to do is not on there, so that's fine. And then on this page, he will tell me how he feels. His age is no longer here, but he will write his name. And then I keep these textured letters in here because I put the blend ladder in this slot here in the menu. So I can just grab a letter and then he can go ahead and make the sounds that I am putting on there. It makes it really easy for me to have this all together in this menu. And then this is another printout from a Facebook group, and it's the alphabet with all of the animals that are a part of my father's world. And what we will do is we will sing the ABCs, but I really use this for the ABC song, the apple, butterfly, and we will sing through it I do it every day. I think you're only supposed to do it. Let's see. Let me look at my guide. Okay, so they have you do it twice in a week. Yeah, so they only have you do it 2 times. I do it every day just so that he could really get the letters down. Now my preschooler, she sits in on this, and so she's getting it too, which is nice. And then on the back, I have the short vowel song. Now they want you to cut these out, and I have a set that I cut out when I first used this, but this also came with the student pages the second time I ordered it, but I just slipped it in here because we will just sing the song and go through the ones that we know. And it is in here all together, which I love. All I have to do is, once I'm set up, I just have to grab these 2 books and I can teach my child because I have all of the student pages in it. I have everything that I'm going to need for him to learn. All right, and then for week 31 and 32, we are going to be learning about the fruit of the Spirit. It tells us the materials that we need and the stuff that we need for the recipes. Now, day 1, love, day 2, joy. So each day you're focusing on a different fruit of the Spirit. I plan to have my son memorize this verse, and it will have activities to do each day, and it will tell you exactly what to say to your child and what to read. Okay. All right. And that is it for the curriculum. Now, what I've shown you on these weeks, every other week is set up the exact way. So here's Christmas, kind of set up how the fruit of the Spirit is. And it will tell you the projects to do and what to say for that as well. But every other week is set up the same way. And so you get this rhythm and your child ends up knowing what to expect, which is really neat. So they get excited for what they're gonna do. And then the appendix, I have shown you how I organize my pages. What is on each one of these pages, you are already introduced in week 1. And then day 2, they tell you, okay, day 2, you need to sing your short vowel sound song. You have your handwriting page. It's just broken down exactly what you need to do for each day. So in case you forget how to do it, if you didn't get into that rhythm the first few weeks, it is back here for you. And for this blend ladder, what is really neat is they tell you what letters to use for each step. And then over here, they tell you what word to build and the words that they are going to read each week. So this one is for the words that they're going to write on their page that they get. Let me see if I have this one. You are going to start out by saying, look at the ladder and listen for the sound hiding in the middle of the word that I say. It is a vowel sound, and it is one of the letters already on your ladder. Point to the sound on your ladder that you hear in the middle of the word sat. And so he will point here. And then it will ask, what letter do you hear at the beginning of sat? So then he'll write an S here. What letter do you hear at the end of the word sat? And then he'll write a T. And then he will write it again on this line. Now, for the, let's see here, you're not going to fill up every single section until week 20. That's when you have a word for each vowel. All right, here is day 5. You're doing your short vowel song again. You're drawing pictures of the letter that you're learning, and then on the back, you're cutting these out. He's reading them and pasting them on to the picture. There's a handwriting guide in the back. It will tell you more information. What if my child is already reading? Okay, it will give you information on that. Outside time ideas, the skills that they should be mastering, nature things to do. Now this is for the classroom. And then we have a book list. Now this has a lot of books on it for each week. They give you one book option in the lesson. So for D, dinosaurs for little kids. Now if I went and turned to, what week was that? 10. Let's see. Look at all the books that they are recommending that you could read. You don't have to read them all, but they're giving you more options in case you need more information or if you want more books to read, which I really like that. How you have endless amounts of, information here that you could use, you can utilize, but also you could just be basic and just do the one book that they recommend on your lesson plan. So it goes through all the weeks, all the books that they recommend. And then the last page are all of the biblical concepts. And that is it. Okay, I hope that was helpful to see inside of the teacher guide and how I have everything set up. I know that the view is kind of cramped, but I hope that you got a good idea of what I do and how I put things together. Now, the question, do I add anything to this curriculum? The answer is yes. You don't need to add anything because everything is already included in this, but I add another math and I will show you what I use. So I have it in this basket. It is the Charlotte Mason Elementary Arithmetic. It is from Simply Charlotte Mason, and I chose this because I wanted something that was not workbook based. In My Father's World, they give you a sheet to do for math. For this curriculum, you know, you have manipulatives and things that you are using to help you with math. And it has been such a gentle approach to math that my son actually really likes it. I'm gonna stick with this. I'm gonna keep going with this. I am not sure, again, you know, this is this year. Next year can be completely different. So I'm not sure if I'll continue with book 2 or if we'll move on to something else. But that is the math that I add on to the My Father's World curriculum. Now there's one more thing that I add, and it is handwriting. This is from Rebecca. It is the K5 writing tablet in manuscript. And I'll get to a back page here. So these are some blank ones that you can use to have them write whatever you want them to write, which is nice because you can also go along with, I know My Father's World gives a handwriting sheet. I think that's on day 2. Yeah. This is the handwriting sheet that they give you. Can you guys see that? Yeah. And it's only one day. And so that is my problem. I don't have him do this on the day that they do handwriting, but I do have him work on this all the other days, just so that he gets practice on his writing and kind of perfects it a little bit. And then we can move on to cursive in a few years. But here he will be writing the alphabet. I mean, here is Z. So it just has a lot of room for practice. Now, he will not, I'm not gonna show you what he's done because I'm having him work on his full name, just so that he learns how to spell his last name. But I'm wondering, like, here's an example of the first page. So this was the beginning of the year. I didn't have him do the whole thing because that was too overwhelming for him. And I didn't want it to be something that took the joy out of the day and out of learning. So you can do, that's the good thing about homeschooling, is you can cater to your child's needs and give them what they need, but also not have the pressure of completing the entire sheet. And that goes for any subject. You know, you're the teacher, so you have the authority to decide how much they do, you know? Okay, so to end this video, I just want to give you a few points of why we really, really enjoy My Father's World Kindergarten. Now, we used the preschool curriculum last year, and it was a good curriculum, but for some reason, I just love this kindergarten curriculum. I am going back and forth on, do I continue it for first grade? Do I do something else, what I normally have my first graders do? Do I want something that is gentle like this? Because this is gentle learning. Or do I want something that is more fast-paced and workbook style? And where I'm at right now is I am just so torn. I definitely lean more toward the My Father's World, so I might go that route next year. But for the kindergarten curriculum, you couldn't have a more gentle, fun program for these kids. They're just going to fall in love with learning, and they're going to want to come to your school table and do their work. I love that it teaches the child to read in a very, I'm going to use the gentle word again. It doesn't even seem like they're learning how to read, but then when they sound out that first word, they have so much joy on their face that they can't even believe that they just read a word. But they didn't know that they were learning how to read the whole time, just with sounds and blends and all of that. I love how the biblical teachings are just woven throughout. I love how you start out with Bible. You have your Bible verse for the week, and you can choose to memorize that verse with your child. I read it to them every day, and then I will read the Bible portion. And even in the Bible portion, it has different portions of scripture that they talk about. I'm trying to think what else. So with the activities, we don't do everything. I have learned that with 4 children, I need to do what we have time for, and I choose like the best projects or the best activities that I think that they will love, and I'll do those. Now, if I had just 1 child or maybe even 2, I would try to do it all because they are fun. Like for this insect lesson, I was just reading that they're going to be painting a ladybug rock. Now that's so easy. We'll just get a rock and some paint, and he can paint his ladybug rock. And the other activity is going on an insect hunt. Now that to me is easy. We can just even go in our backyard and try to find different insects. So it's not like it is very intensive with the activities, but sometimes we just don't have the time to get to them, and that's okay. Like I was saying before, we are in charge of what we do and what we don't do. I guess that kind of leads me to like when I first started homeschooling, I tried so hard to bring the public school system, the brick and mortar school, into our home. And I was trying to school like that. That leads to so much burnout. It doesn't work. That school is not meant to be here. Homeschool is completely different, in my opinion. I feel like once I let go of the idea that my homeschool had to look like the public school system, we had so much freedom. We were happier. We wanted to learn. And it's okay to school how it best fits your family. But you just have to go with the flow of your family. And the schedule that we're on right now, it probably won't be like that next month or in 3 months. It could change, and it does. It always changes. So you're constantly in like this evaluation of what's working, what's not working. Sometimes you have to ditch curriculum midway through the year, and that's okay, because once you enter in that new curriculum, you get that excitement from the kids and even maybe yourself that now you want to teach it, or now they want to learn. And that is what you want. You want your kids to want to learn, right? Anyway, so I love this curriculum. If you have any other questions about it, or you want to see anything else, please let me know down in the comments. You can also follow me on Liberty Schoolhouse on Instagram. I post a lot more there about homeschooling, and people DM me, we voice message, all the things. So you can go over there and send me a message also if you want to, and you don't want your comment like just out for everyone. You can go over there and message me. But I am always happy to talk with you about any questions you have. I want to help as much as I can. So until next time, you guys, I hope that you are having a great week, a great homeschool year, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye.